Great reference, by the way.
What?
When I was questioning the routes you were taking to my house.
Yeah. You like that?
I'm like, we gotta...
What was it?
I looked it up on my phone. It was an hour ride. It took out Teddy an hour 15. So I'm like, I gotta start questioning some of the routes you're taking. And he goes, okay, Magellan.
I took social studies.
Yeah, you did.
I know Magellan and Columbus. I didn't want to say Columbus because that's too, like, cliche.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, everyone loves Columbus, right?
Yeah, he's too mainstream. Too beloved. Whole day about him.
Oh, man.
I'm surprised that holiday didn't get canceled yet.
Where have you been?
No, I think it did.
It definitely has.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I think the name
Indigenous
is officially
Peoples Day.
changed, yeah.
So what?
Indigenous Peoples Day?
Anti-Italian Day?
Yeah, it's just anti-Italian discrimination.
Yeah, everyone can shit on Italians, right? And no backlash whatsoever.
Yes, why don't
Italians
you
get shit on. Italians just the football. Everyone just kicks us around.
Yeah, you're getting it.
But I can't say nothing, right?
Nope.
You just got to take it. I did see you share that the TikTok, the most Italian video ever, where the dudes from New Jersey said that they had better pizza than New York, and the New York guy was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And then the New Jersey guys were like, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here!" It's just a competition of who can get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Was there a lot of plane interruptions during the pandemic? They couldn't have been, right?
What are you talking about?
Like back in March.
You were here.
I wasn't recording. I got banned.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Those were dark days.
It was.
Yeah, no, you didn't come on until like June, right?
I think I took like almost a year off.
No,
No,
that
you
year
didn't take a year off.
Close to it.
No,
man.
not
You
close
popped
to
in
it.
and
You
out.
popped in.
I wasn't allowed here. What are you talking
It was
about?
like 3 or 4 months. I think it was about 3 or 4 months.
Maybe 6.
It wasn't 6. There's no way you came back that September, because even Nash came back. Nash was the one who stayed away
banned.
longer, because Nash was basically banned because there was no pandemic
There
for
was,
Nash.
yeah, Nash. Yeah.
Nash's life just kept on steady.
This kid didn't miss a beat.
No.
He was humming through that fucking.
No, he was in all the what did they used to call the pubs during Prohibition? The speakeasies.
Speakeasies,
Yeah. Nash had some
found
local
them.
speakeasies.
What a time,
Yeah,
man.
his basement.
Yo, I know you weren't you couldn't come to Comic-Con, but that shit was weird, man. Have you
Was
been
it
in a
nice being empty?
It wasn't that empty. One day it was, but the rest of it was like pretty packed. It was different. I haven't been, obviously with Toronto, like that was something, but I don't think I've been in a space like a Javits Center, a convention center like that in a while. But
How do you feel? Do you feel safe?
I mean, everyone was vaccinated. I already had it.
Wait,
so
he got corona and got the vaccine
yeah,
Yeah. But he
and got
didn't-
it again.
no, I did. I had it once.
You got corona, right?
No, I got the vaccine, then I got COVID.
Oh, okay. Even better.
Yeah, but the vaccine makes your symptoms, it lessens your symptoms, and it makes it less transmissible.
I could have been on my
for
deathbed.
now. Until 5 years later when fucking
You're going to just keep
grow a
pushing
pinky.
that timeline, huh?
Yeah.
That's going to be pushing that timeline for the rest of his life.
5 years.
I'm telling you, the 40-year mark, something with that vaccine. Something
I honestly
in it.
think in 5 to 6 years, something's going to
gonna
happen,
die
but it's going to be
at
so
90
far along that they can't blame the vaccine.
I'm going to
That's just
die
gonna
at
happen.
90
There's gonna be
years
something.
old. I'm going to be like in my casket. Natural causes. Ted's like, vaccine finally caught up to him.
Like, Aaron,
Really
you're
did a number
87,
on
you have onset dementia. Ted's like, I told him to stay away from that shot.
I don't know getting it. I have to get it. Or I can't get hired back to my job.
What are you playing for, the Nets?
Oh,
The city.
Oh,
nice.
okay.
It does suck. Like my boss said, if you don't get vaccinated by next March, there's 0% chance they're gonna hire you.
Same thing with Nerd Soup, actually.
You guys starting a mandate?
Yeah, we're on the same timeline as the NBA, so you have 5 days.
Or you can only play away games.
Yeah, you can only do
Toronto Film
podcasts on
Festivals.
Hopefully we'll go to Sundance. Maybe you can attend that in Utah.
You probably can't.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Soup Podcast. I am Bo Oliver, joined here today with Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy, and we are back to talk about the world of Hollywood. We've got some reviews to talk about. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That's how this video is going to open. It's actually a review that we already recorded, so we'll just plug that in. We're going to be talking about some U.S. weekend box office, some new trailers, some comments, some first looks at the Batman and Willy Wonka. Look at that, spoiling all the topics.
Willy Wonka looks sick.
It does. Listen to this podcast on
a picture of
iTunes,
Chalamet.
Spotify, Google
Yeah, that's
Podcasts,
good.
and YouTube,
Does look
all the
good.
places for podcasts.
He's cooking something
And
up.
of course, follow us on social media at Nerd Soup, Bo Soup, Nerd Soup Monkey, Teddy Nerd Soup. We've also got some stuff to plug. Next week, we will be dropping our Ted Lasso Season 2 review.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. And what else do we have? Oh, I'm going to be doing a solo video where I will be ranking the Daniel Craig Bond movies.
I'm doing a solo too.
You want to plug your thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're plugging your shit.
He wasn't even done plugging his thing.
I thought he was done plugging. That's why I talked. He's going on about Bonds.
He was literally still talking.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a Bond video where I'll be ranking all the Daniel Craig Bond movies from worst to best. Give me a chance to talk about the new one, No Time to Die, which I very much enjoyed. And I think that will be a fun video for the fans. You know, capping off the Daniel Craig era, it's been such a great run. And additionally, our Squid Game review was supposed to be coming out on Friday, or today when you're listening to this podcast, but we're going to push that to Monday because we managed to get Teddy here for a podcast and we couldn't waste that opportunity. So, Squid Game review on Monday, biggest show in the world. If you haven't watched it, catch up and check out our review. And yes, Aaron's also got a solo video review.
I'm good?
Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Little House of the
I'm looking forward to that too because, House of the Dragon, I'm excited.
Ted's going to come in, my solo video.
Are we doing Scream?
Yeah, you're doing Scream.
Scream's hidden.
You're doing Halloween Kills. Yeah, Little House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones.
We should
good.
review Scream, actually.
I don't
We
wish.
should. It's a good movie.
It is.
And what else do we have? Midnight Mass. What If? We got a lot in the pipeline.
You guys recorded Midnight Mass already?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for
cool.
you.
I'm done
Succession.
Yeah, Midnight Mass is going to be me, Ted, and Nash.
Sweet.
That's going to be our Halloween video. That's been our tradition here at Nerd Soup.
I kind of want Halloween to be the Halloween video.
We already did. We did
did
Halloween
last
a few
year,
years
yeah.
back. That was the first one we did.
Yeah, no, but do it
The new
again.
Halloween.
Keep it going.
Yeah, but this new one's apparently it's not that good. And Midnight Mass is
The
pretty
other one
good.
wasn't good either.
It was better reviews. At least there was
guess,
more
yeah.
hype around it.
Yeah,
I
I
think it would
guess.
be fun to do. Last year we did two. We did The Exorcist and Bly Manor. I think it would be fun to do Midnight Mass this year and Scream.
Let's do it. I don't have it to say, but
Well, you could chime in.
all right. I like Scream. I'll do Midnight Mass too.
You just
I like them both.
you just agreed with both of the things I said and not Halloween. Well, you want to do like the original Halloween?
No, the one that's coming out.
Okay. Well, we could
We
do
don't
that.
have- we
We
don't
could
have
do
to
that
do
on
it.
the podcast.
Holy
That comes
shit.
out
Yeah, we'll do
tonight.
that. Yeah, we can do that.
Yo, Dune comes out next week.
Yes, it does.
Got that coming too.
The 17th? What day is that?
21st.
All right, 20th.
That's
all
when
right.
we're seeing it. 21st.
When am I seeing it?
21st.
21st.
All right.
Make sure you're there.
I was telling Bo, it's killing me inside that you guys saw it already. And
Dune?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's like
It's-
not even excited for it.
It,
Like, when I told him
it
about
really
the tickets,
does bring it down that
Yeah.
you guys saw it already.
Why?
You guys know all the exciting parts. And I can just see you guys sitting there like, oh, I saw this already, and these guys don't
Yo,
even
it's
know
so
it.
funny. At Comic-Con, we went to a My Hero panel, and they were showing a clip from the new movie coming out. And the moderator, or whatever, the host was like, how cool is it for you guys in this building to see something no one else has seen before? And I just look at Bo, I'm like, motherfucker, I saw Dune. All right?
That's
Yeah.
exactly how I
fuck outta
feel.
here.
You guys feel like in the theater, and it's killing me inside.
So someone put up like on the program, it was a picture of Dune for Comic-Con. Like, oh, did you see this? I'm like, I saw the movie. So
Imagine knowing
I've
Cap
seen it
grabs the
twice.
hammer, and no one else knows except for you,
I would hate
and
that.
you're in the theater.
I would rather be in the theater opening night with that crowd for Endgame. Dune's different.
Well, when we saw Force Awakens, we told Andres we were all going on Saturday to see it for the first time, but we had already seen it on Thursday. So when they showed the Millennium Falcon for the first time, he looks over to us, he's all excited, and we're just like, wow, the Millennium Falcon.
That's what I don't want.
Oh, wow.
You guys are gonna fake it the whole way through.
Worm,
we faked it.
wow,
It's like having
worm.
sex with someone and they're faking the entire time.
Yeah, no, we basically faked an orgasm with Andres, and then at the end we told him we were faking, and he was heartbroken.
I
Well, we
always
did that
fake
to
it.
Marissa for Endgame as well. Me and Manny had seen it early, and we didn't tell Marissa.
You enjoy doing that?
Oh, that was on Manny. I just get invited. I don't set these things up. I'm not trying to mess with people.
All right.
I just do my thing. I go in, I watch the movie, I get out. But no, Dune was a life-changing experience. Not only did we see it before you,
Breathtaking.
but we were some of the first people to ever see it on IMAX.
No, we were the first in IMAX.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry, Denise saw it in IMAX.
Yeah,
but,
I'm sure.
yeah.
I'm sure the cast and the crew.
You could give me a FaceTime for just for a second,
No.
like the opening.
No, I was going to risk being kicked out so you can
That
get
would've
your
been
rocks
great.
off for 5 seconds.
Picking up though, we got Lamb coming out, Last Duel. James Bond came out last weekend. We bought Eternals tickets, thus I'm pitching into my own demise because if that beats Shang-Chi, which it probably is because the projections are pretty high for its box office, the pre-sale. So
I might buy like 10
good luck,
tickets.
Ted. You're gonna buy 10 tickets.
Yeah, I didn't want to chime in with that debate because I wanted you guys to keep your sides, but I was surprised how you were so dismissive of Eternals. This could be a big movie.
I see. The thing is, like, I thought.
Yeah, you didn't check the. You got to check in with she.
I know. The big thing is, I thought I was completely fucked because when I made the bet, the thing was none of the movies. I thought that like they weren't going to be released in China, which they aren't. But then like last week, I'm like, wait, is Eternals going to be released in China? Because then I would just be completely fucked. But they're both not. So we're on even playing terms here.
All right. But this is such a bigger movie than Shang-Chi, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Like Sean.
I feel like Eternals was like a minus 400, and you just gave it to me like it was a layup.
No, I think I was right to pick, but you just have better timing, I guess. Whatever. It's okay. It's still gonna. I'm still hopeful.
This guy, he's like seeing the writing on the wall. He's like, I still think I was right to pick the wrong choice. He's like, nothing's really changed.
That's what they say,
they're
like,
both not coming out in China, but
like when a coach
sticking with
when a coach comes out and is like, I would have done it all over again. I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid because it didn't work. So you were on my side completely. After Teddy left, you're like, fucking idiot.
You did?
No, I don't know. I think in the moment, I was, not that I was on anybody's side, but I didn't, like Teddy said, that he gave it to you. You gave it to him like it was a layup.
Well.
And I think because everything about Eternals is getting me really excited. The long runtime, the fact that they haven't shown us basically anything. Mm-hmm. No one knows what the movie is about.
General public's probably like, oh, what's this? You know? Shang-Chi, the trailer
could go against
What are you trying to manifest it?
Shang-Chi was more like, oh, look, it's action-packed, like cool things going on here. Eternals like, who are these people? I don't know what this is. I'm not going to go see that.
Sometimes that's up.
I need the average fan to stand up.
And the November slate is packed. I'm feeling good.
Just dropped out of the base. Let's get to the first story
my hair
here.
will be falling out.
Like we mentioned with our Venom review,
out.
let's just get right back into that. Throw it to Aaron.
All right, let's just do Venom then.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage. There was a lot of was there a lot of carnage? I can't stand these titles. Age of Ultron. It was only a week. Let There Be Carnage. There was some carnage. I guess it makes sense.
There's more of an Age of Ultron and What If.
That was the Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. That was a scary Ultron. I wish they would have got James Spader back for the voice. But I think one of the worst parts of Venom 2, and there are a lot of bad things about it, but would be the way they wasted Woody Harrelson's character as Carnage. Obviously, spoilers, he's killed in the end. He's such an icon. I think Venom, Carnage, and Spider-Man, they're like the big three of the Spidey universe. So I think that their characters, people were highly anticipating watching this grudge match between Venom and Carnage. Obviously, they're so similar, but it doesn't matter. People still love these two characters. And
Carnage is somebody that we've been looking forward to, like, since those first Spider-Man movies. Like, are we ever going to get Carnage? Or it just took so long to get him, and it was terrible. This movie, like, I like this worse than the first one, and I didn't like the first one at all. I think it's bad. I think it's just a bad movie. Obviously, it wasn't helped by just, like you said, Carnage is, I don't know. There was no Carnage. When he was there, yeah, sure, he was breaking, like, busting stuff up and being all crazy and everything, but like I didn't get like a good, like enough Carnage where like I was like, oh, this is a cool character. I would like to see him back. I don't care that he's dead because I don't really care for that character, and I don't really care for Venom or Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. It's their dynamic I think wears thin for me in the first movie already. So to go back to this and kind of double down on it was just a terrible experience for me.
Yeah, there's a way that you can make that funny. I think the themes that they are exploring, they do a poor job of exploring them. But the duality of a superhero, this man realizing that the only reason he's rebuilt his life is because of this premise and how he takes value from Venom's impact in his life. And then realizing, wait a minute, this is a creature who wants to kill people, who's a bit out of control. I have a tough time managing this. There's a lot of interesting things to get into. The insecurities of being a hero or the different ways that people can become heroes. And that's the point where he gets to at the end, where they both realize, okay, we're going to be the good guy. But getting there was such a grind for me. I was able to sit through the first one and enjoy it because I liked the performance. I liked the chemistry between Venom and Eddie Brock, even though at times it was annoying and not all the jokes hit. But there was enough for me in that movie to come away satisfied with the experience. With this, I wasn't satisfied whatsoever. Like you said, the dynamic wears thin for you in the first movie. For me, like 20 to 30 minutes in, I just wanted to punch both of them, just knock their heads together.
Dude,
shut up!
It wasn't like I didn't
stop with the banter. It's horrible.
I didn't laugh once, and a lot of the jokes are so cheap, and some of them too
horrible.
are like, when Venom's like, oh, fuck that guy. Like, yeah, that's
He
supposed to
didn't
be.
earn that fuck.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be funny, and it was just like, oh, so it's funny just because Venom's just saying fuck, or he's calling someone a pussy. It's like, all right, like at a certain point, you got to be more clever with your humor. Tom Hardy, I think he's a great actor. He's not good in these roles. I don't think he's good at all. And what's with New York accents in San Francisco? That's two different characters.
Yeah, the detective, right?
Yeah.
I think he does have a comic origin.
I think he's Toxin.
Okay. He's another...
He's like a symbiote. Like, you know how
Right.
Venom was scared of Carnage? I think Carnage and Venom are both scared of Toxin.
That's pretty funny.
He's just unconvincing in this role. And he's not good in these movies. I don't think he was good in the first one. I don't think he's good in this one.
See, I don't mind...
I don't know if it's Tom Hardy or just Eddie Brock, who I can't stand. I think it might just be Eddie Brock.
Well, it's the way that he's portraying the character, the jitters. He's constantly shaking. He's always confused. He always looks exhausted and sweaty. So I don't mind all
I'm
that.
always exhausted and sweaty.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not that annoying.
But that's all you get from the character. It's all just the physical performance. There's not really much there underneath it. So he's acting really animated and funny, and it's become iconic because of how divisive it is.
Don't throw the I word around this movie.
Bad things can become iconic. When you're making 700, 800 million at the box office, man. Look at, you mentioned it with Fantastic Four. Terrible movie, but everyone knows them. They are icons. You can't dispute that. But I think it's become because people are so split on it. You either love his portrayal or Eddie Brock, or you can't stand it. I'm someone who likes it, but the character sucks. Like, the character got worse. The main theme is the duality of man, the duality of a superhero, but they don't do nearly a good enough job of exploring that premise. And the whole tone of the movie doesn't really lend itself to that premise because it is so wacky and so far out there. I think what would have benefited this is an R rating, where you can let Carnage be as evil as he wants. He can, the body horror that you can get away with when you have these two characters. You could do some really fun and cool stuff. That doesn't fix all of your problems, because you could slap an R rating on this and it could still just be horrible. Because the prison break scene with Carnage, that's supposed to be his big moment, right? It's a terrible action sequence. He's just killing people that you're not familiar with. It doesn't look cool. The CGI is okay, I guess. But
so goofy too.
Yeah, the movie just, it doesn't work. It never comes together. It's just too jumbled up.
It's like a
and then it ends.
late 90s, early 2000s type camp when it comes to these things. And the girlfriend character, was it Frances or something?
Oh, Carnage's girlfriend.
Well, what is she? What a weird character.
Carnage just
Her
kept telling her
one-liners,
to
her like
shut the
phrases,
fuck up.
and like such an unnatural like dialogue and just out of place. And then she has like this change of heart, like, Carnage, you're doing too much. It's like, yo, you're like kidnapping and murdering, and you're doing all this shit too. It's like, I just didn't get it.
Yeah, I guess
nothing made sense for me in this movie.
It's like a reference to his role in Natural Born Killers, but I mean, God, if you're gonna do an homage to that, you gotta make it better. I think that's a character that had no business even being in this movie. And like I mentioned, the movie's too short. That's a good thing because it sucks so much. I guess you get in and you get out. I have no interest in ever watching this again in my life. Maybe for the rewatch when Venom and Spider-Man fight. But a Venom movie, you can't make it an hour and a half. That's the first red flag. When that dropped, I was like, this is gonna be bad.
I mean, the best part of the movie is the end credit scene, and like,
yeah, I guess we'll talk about that.
Because like Venom and Spider-Man, right? And he's in the universe now, but he doesn't. I don't want this character. I don't want to see this character again. Unless they completely revamp him, kind of do what they did with like Thor and things like that, and make him actually interesting and entertaining, then sure. But the Venom we got these past two.
You don't want that boy in Far From Home? No Way Home?
No, because I don't like the character. Eddie Brock? I don't care. And like, it's disappointing because it's supposed to be like a sick moment, and like I can't even enjoy that because it's like I hate this character who doesn't really fit in the MCU. Doesn't really fit in anywhere.
Venom's canon. Venom's canon. Well, I could see why Feige didn't want anything to do with this.
You better get to work.
The Feige man's gonna have to take him back in the back room, do some surgery on this character. But I wonder how they're going to work that, because it looked like he was transported to the MCU universe. Obviously, the MCU is focusing heavily on the multiverse through their shows and through their upcoming movies. I guess that's an easy way to bring him in and to send him back.
They just needed a way to get him in.
But it's a great mid-credit scene because we want to see these two new incarnations of maybe one of these incarnations of the characters together. But it makes no sense. Like you said, it's just a way to shoehorn him in because fans want this. And, from the get-go, from Sony wanting to make these movies separate from the Tom Holland Spider-Man, is you set yourself up not to fail, but it's a bit clumsy now, the crossover.
And even like Michelle Williams, such a talented actor. Like,
I love her. You know who was the best part of the movie?
Nothing.
Her husband. He was the only good part. Just his comments, and when he...
Dude, I
sets him on fire.
I lied. I did laugh because it just had outrageous. When he's like hanging on the building and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" In my head, I'm like, he's in the set, like hanging out or something, and he did it.
He did it. Yeah, it's such a late '90s
little lazy
superhero
fucking writing with these.
But how can you write that? Seriously, how can you live with yourself?
You don't put it in.
I know. It's so easy, but why? Why do it? It's been done so many times. I don't get it with these Hollywood writers, man. Like we said, the blackboard of things that you can no longer joke about or comment on. If a character's hanging, he can't say he's hanging around. You can't do it anymore.
Wasn't Eminem tracking this?
Oh, yes, there was.
Yes, there was, yeah. And credits, right?
Yeah. He's in it.
Good for him. He's in the movie?
Yeah.
Well, you know about the post-credit scene at this point, right?
No. You can tell me. I don't care.
Okay, he sees Spider-Man on the TV.
That's
Tom
sick.
Holland's Spider-Man. Right. So Tom Holland, I mean, I guess we could talk about this before we get into the next topic.
Can we say that yet?
Yeah, I think so. It's been out long enough.
Okay.
And they just sat through a spoiler review. We already mentioned it on the spoiler review.
True.
He mentioned that this felt like filming this last movie, No Way Home, felt like the end of a franchise. And that some of the cast members were embracing each other as if they were never going to work with each other again. Obviously, I'm just paraphrasing, but, with the Sony Disney deal, it's always going to be up in the air because it's not something that's concrete. It does go by based on how many movies they're making, but they did just re-up on it. I wonder if his comments were more pointing towards introducing the multiverse so there could be different versions of this character. It may not be the Spider-Man we're totally familiar with.
Right,
it's
this
still
crew
Tom
might
Holland.
not see each other again.
Yeah,
but they'll still
right.
be around.
Or maybe some of these characters don't make it out of this movie,
Yeah. They are. I mean, Marvel is prone to doing some pretty big sacrifices now.
Yes, they are. And it can also mean that Spider-Man is growing up because I think 3 movies in high school is enough. There's a lot of Spider-Man stories when you go back to the comics of him in college, him as a young adult. So they could start to tackle those stories as well. But I hope it's nothing as like a few years ago where we think we're going to lose this version of Spider-Man.
Well, even Maguire's Spider-Man was in college. With Spider-Man 2, right?
Yeah, by the end of the first movie, this man had already graduated high school.
Right.
Yeah.
I want he has to go to community college first.
Like a JUCO?
Yeah.
Figure it out a little bit.
Figure out where he wants to go. We'll see where he goes from there.
I want to see some real life struggles.
Yeah.
Like money. You can't afford college.
Which is ridiculous
Financial
because
aid. And
I'm sure Pepper's
losing the house.
giving them money right now, but
No, I don't think they take those handouts. I could see
You
Aunt May being old school like that.
People don't want to take handouts. It's Walter
pride.
White. Oh, it's charity. I don't want to be... Shut up.
That guy stole his girl.
That's
If I stole your girl and then paid for your chemo, you gonna live with that?
Yeah.
I mean...
Actually, that's a good way to pay someone back, I guess.
I will live with it because thanks to the chemotherapy.
Just gonna be getting chemo.
Do I want to? No. But I got no choice.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, well... I'm not going to die. I'll just start an
dead
empire
inside.
and fuck you over somehow.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's good.
Good luck.
Time to die,
Hope it's not at a late stage.
Well, one could hope.
What the hell are we even talking about?
Spider-Man.
No time to die.
You want to go to U.S. weekend box office?
That's where we were going, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about the box office. Number 1, No Time to Die, $55 million. Now, some forecasts had this going across $100 million. We talked about that on the podcast, but it didn't quite reach that mark, and sometimes that happens. But still a good number for the domestic debut. Venom 2 came in at number 2 with $31 million. The Addams Family 2 keeps going strong at number 3 with $10 million. Shang-Chi made $4 million, and number 5, The Many Saints of Newark. I don't even have a number for it. I totally forgot.
Oh, did it bomb?
Maybe it's just under wraps, The mafia likes to keep it close. Yeah, it's under $4 million. Somewhere between $0 and $4 million for The Many Saints of Newark.
I really couldn't see a movie doing that good because
that's definitely an HBO Max movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hope the numbers on HBO Max are doing well. High budget. because I mentioned on the review that I imagine that this was a bigger budget than any of the seasons ever got, and then I fact-checked myself wondering, well, the show was pretty popular, but no, it was like a $70 million budget. So
Studios pay to put their movie in the theaters, right? Like, are they losing money putting in the theaters and not making money in the theaters?
Oh yeah, distribution costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the theater's taking a cut.
Right.
So, like Aaron mentioned, it's they're probably hoping this is doing well on HBO Max. And I haven't seen many reports about how popular it actually is. So far, it's, what are the top two? It's Mortal Kombat and then Suicide Squad.
Probably.
I think are the top two. I could see this being as close as popular to those movies. I think it could get to that top 5 range.
Dude,
Zack Snyder?
Mortal Kombat.
Was that HBO? What was Justice League on?
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Yeah.
I think Doom will beat Mortal Kombat. I think so.
But Mortal Kombat didn't have a theatrical release, so.
Oh, yeah. It's also the name. You've got a good name brand there. People know what it is.
Yeah.
And it being on HBO Max. But I think Dune is going to make a lot of money at the box office.
It already has. I mean, like, over 100 million so far. Hasn't even released domestically. You have to assume... I don't know. Looking at Shang-Chi with, what is it, over 400 million at the time we're speaking right now. That's without China. So I would expect something similar for Dune.
Yeah, and I think Warner Brothers would chalk that up as a win.
Oh, fuck. I did look this up, actually, because I was getting nervous. Eternals is going to be rated R in Russia, so it's a big market. That's not going to make enough money. So...
This guy, man, said he's feeling confident, and
Now
he's
I'm
looking
good.
up the ratings in Russia.
It just popped up. It's apparently the gay characters, and that's apparently in Russia, that's an R for you. So,
Right. In China, it's an outright ban. In Russia, so I guess Russia's a bit more progressive, but still.
no, they're China is because of Chloe Zhao.
No, but I'm saying if you do have a gay character in your
yeah.
movie, it gets, I'm pretty sure it just gets banned outright in China.
Yeah, so like,
I'm not sure about that, actually. We'll have to, what is the bait? The bet?
Whoever loses has to get their stomach,
body waxed.
Yeah, upper body waxed.
Oh, okay, that could be fun. That could be fun on the Instagram Live, so. It's a win-win for me and the fans.
Are you coming?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there behind the camera.
Nice.
I'm filming Ted.
I'm not getting waxed.
No, you got to stand there with like your hands on your hips, like.
I'm eating it.
Shouldn't have. Yeah, wait. You're going to be getting waxed.
I know.
I'm gonna ask the lady
you.
like it.
Figurative and literally.
All right, that's the other thing.
Oh my
we
God.
each get whoever loses.
I'm on it today.
Whoever loses, the winner gets to do one pull. We'll see if the lady will let us do it.
All right. She got no choice. It's happening.
Yeah, I want to pull. I want to get down to the root.
I don't have a lot of hair though. I got like just a little bit of hair in between my pecs.
Let me see.
That's all I got. No, I won't put my shirt up.
We got to do your arms too. Your fucking hairy ass.
We're doing everything?
Upper body,
All upper
bro.
body? All right.
Yeah, this is actually the lowest opening for a Bond movie, domestic opening, since the reboot, since Casino Royale in 2006. So I think that's why it was a bit shocking for a lot of people. Still a good number, a good pandemic number as well. But a lot of people thought this would do better, that this may have had the biggest domestic opening of the year. But I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a satisfying conclusion to those movies, to the universe that they built.
So you're saying like box office numbers are trending downwards? Okay, that's good.
I think it's always hard to predict, man.
Yeah, no,
Even
it
in
is.
normal times, you can get it wrong, and it's not super wrong.
I think Bond definitely has might have a bit more staying power than your typical.
Right, that's what one of the articles said, that the audience is a bit older, so maybe it doesn't drop off that much in the second weekend.
Like
What
I
would be
wasn't
good second
rushing to
weekend?
see
30?
it.
Yeah, that would be good. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
I wasn't rushing to see it, so I'll probably see it sometime this week. So I think there's a lot of people that are like, more so than maybe a Marvel movie where you feel like you have to see it Thursday night or Friday night, or with Dune. This is one, I'll get to it.
Well, you have to get to the other ones.
I'll get to it. I'll see you, Daniel Craig. I'll see you up on that big screen.
You two do need to watch the other ones, because there's so many references to the previous movies. Just helps the experience.
I gotta watch them. I really do. I really want to watch them. Can you text me the order?
Quick Google search.
Casino
will do your
Royale,
wonders.
Quantum of Solace, Skyfall,
You know how it is with Google, man.
Spectre. They're all on Paramount Plus. Sign up for the
want the-
7-day
No,
trial.
I don't know how it is with
I
Google.
wound up watching the 80s Bond.
Ooh, Octopussy.
I like that. You'd end up watching Goldfinger. You think it's the Austin Powers.
No, I'll end up playing the Switch.
End up playing the Switch.
I'll go from Google. Because I'll go James Bond, and then I'll go in 64. James Bond.
Because GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I put on my Letterboxd review. I rewatched GoldenEye. It's the best video game movie ever.
You're right on Letterboxd, huh?
It is the struggle between a one-liner and a detailed review on Letterboxd.
What did you
It's
just
so
post?
true.
You posted Candyman? Did you watch that?
Yeah, the new one.
How was it?
It was very good. Yeah,
That's
very well
Jordan
done.
Jordan Peele did that, right?
Producer.
Nia DaCosta directed.
Yeah, Nia DaCosta.
Costa?
Costa Rica.
Maybe I'll watch that too.
Well,
It's
have you seen
spooky
the
season,
original?
man. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's cool how much, all the references and set in the same universe. Very similar, but also different.
Actually, was a scary one, the first one. Not
It's
too
fucking
scary, but
as
scary.
fuck. Yeah, it is. I think it's very scary. Scream is also very scary. I rewatched that the other day. That opening scene with Drew Barrymore, just torturing that poor woman.
This
All
guy
right,
won't go away.
It's just like, I didn't realize
like a
all those
30-year.
sequels were set in the
Yeah.
same universe. It's just the same thing every
Yeah.
time. They're like, well, Courtney Cox and
He's
Neve
back.
Campbell.
He's back again.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next story here. We have Matt Reeves shares a new look at the Batman trailer, which will be dropping on Saturday at DC FanDome, their DC Comics virtual convention that they have. It's a good shot. It's Batman overlooking the city. The sun is going down, so he's
Good visual.
right. Batman usually doesn't appear during the day, so I don't know. Maybe he's getting to work a little bit earlier these days.
Punching in early. Getting an OT.
And like I said, it's he's overlooking the city, so I'm excited for the trailer.
Yeah, the
It's a
trailer
nice little tease.
drops Saturday, right? So, I mean, that first trailer, like even for
Is this the first trailer?
no, the first trailer dropped like a year ago.
Wow.
But that trailer was so good for for the amount they filmed. Like they still had a whiles to go, and they were able to put together a pretty good trailer. So I'm definitely excited to see how much they include in this one. I think there was news that it's going to be close to 3 hours and really focus on the detective noir type aspects of Batman. So as a fan of the character and that aspect of the character, that's something I'm super excited for.
Yeah,
That's
I think
exactly what you want, man.
you've built up so much hype with Batman throughout the 21st century because the character became a bit of a joke by the time we got to the Clooney movies. But we've had so many good versions of this character in the last 20 years that you can reboot it with a 3-hour detective story and be confident that audiences will come out and see it because people love Batman.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
They said Paul Dano's Riddler is going to be Jigsaw-esque.
Ooh,
That's amazing.
That's pretty sick.
Right, yeah. If
Dark.
it's a story, because there were rumors that he was going to take some from The Long Halloween, and The Long Halloween is a story that does take place over the course of a year. So I wonder if it will span multiple months as the Riddler continues to torture Gotham in some way. I mean, it's a movie that you kind of forget about sometimes because DC is always announcing stuff with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited to get a better look at what this movie is going to look and feel like, and I hope that's an accurate report.
Ted,
What?
throwing it to you.
You supposed to tell it to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually the way it goes.
I'm thrown now.
Okay, well, what do you? Well, we'll be looking forward to that trailer. What do you think about this first look of Willy Wonka?
This looks sick.
Yeah.
Chalamet looks dope. He's cooking something up with these.
I
Oompa
joked
Loompas,
that he
dude.
was
Probably
maybe
candy.
like the Oompa Loompas got thicker,
and
and he's looking at them different.
Dude's got
Or
like,
somebody's doing something to those gobstoppers.
even with the Dune promotion, he just has a look. He just pierces my soul.
He's a movie star.
He's good, man. I think it's impossible to recapture Gene Wilder, so it's up for a tall task, but it's a different version of the character, a little younger, so you don't really have to try to replicate that much, and I think that would be a mistake if you did try to do that, because
That's where you always mess up, though, when you do shit like that.
Right,
Trying to
but-
recreate something like that.
I mean, that performance is just so iconic, and like he's really just got to make the character its own. And I think it's so far removed from that first movie that you can without people like being upset. It's going to be for, I think, a relatively new audience and an old audience as well. So if you kind of blend a new version with maybe some of the aspects of that old version, and he's definitely one of the more talented young actors out there. So.
Did you guys happen to
think he
see
can get
that
it done.
clip of him singing on set?
Yeah. He's definitely charismatic enough to carry this role. And like you said, I don't think he'd do the role justice if he tried doing a Gene Wilder. I think you got to do your own. You're in the spot for a reason.
Yeah, and I'm someone who likes the Johnny Depp version of Willy Wonka because he
So do
wasn't
I.
trying to do Gene Wilder's Wonka. Obviously, if we had to compare the two, I prefer Gene Wilder's, but like you guys have mentioned, I hope this is a newer version of the character. He is younger. How he built the factory. I think there's a lot there to get into some fun stuff in an action adventure movie because all of that is kind of legend within the universe, how Wonka became Wonka, and now it's one of those things that you can explore and explain without ruining any aspects of the character.
They got into it a little bit with the Johnny Depp one.
Yeah, they did. And now they're going to go a step further. He's a character that an actor can have a lot of fun with.
Right.
He can make this really wacky and goofy, and if he's going to be singing and dancing, there can be fantasy elements. And
But
like
if you try to do Gene Wilder, that's all they're going to talk about.
No, I don't think they will because different talents, right? Chalamet is more like a Johnny Depp type of actor than he is a Gene Wilder. You know, Gene Wilder was so great in his comedic performances. Chalamet hasn't done comedy yet, but you imagine there's going to be some comedy here. So I think it will be like a combination of the two, but hopefully it will stand on its own.
Right. You hear that advice he got from his mentor?
Yeah, no superhero movies and no hard drugs.
Yeah, what kind of bullshit is that? Don't have fun and don't make money?
I like the second point, not the first
Who
point.
do you think the mentor is? I think it's Leo.
You don't think Leo's fucking ripping hard drugs?
Not anymore. I think he looks good for his age. You do hard drugs.
Yeah, but Leo's in every Tarantino movie, and that might as well be a superhero movie.
No, they're not, though.
They might as
And he's
well
only
be.
been in 2.
Yeah.
Who else could it be then?
I don't know.
I feel because everyone always calls him the new Leo. That's why I think it's Leo. Leo's never done the superhero movie. I think he's never gotten in trouble.
I know.
I'm sure he's partied. I'm sure he still parties, but Leo doesn't strike me as someone who's frequently using hard
I said let
drugs.
the kid do his
It's got to
thing.
be someone who's done it. So you think Ben Affleck is into that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, maybe it was like do as I say, not as I do type of advice.
Right.
But I think if it came from someone like Leo, it's more so this is the blueprint. Because Leo's someone who's managed to stay on top of the game he's like the Tom Brady of acting. Just
But,
doesn't go away.
Has
mean,
an
we'll see
actor
what-
come
see
out
what-
actively against superhero movies?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
quite a few.
We'll see with Dune, but Chalamet has nowhere near the resume Leo has at this point, like in the first few. And like, not even that Leo's was super good, but like just Titanic in general. Like that was just the mess. That was like the movie of movies.
He was still
to come
young in
out.
The Departed, too. The Departed was huge.
2006. Yeah, it was.
It was 20 years ago.
No, you'd be
15
surprised.
years ago.
He's still kind of like
Yeah.
a young man in The Departed.
Chalamet doesn't have that Titanic yet, where he's not a.
Well, Dune?
That's what I said. We'll see with Dune.
Oh, okay.
No, he's got some blockbusters in the works here that could propel him to
Yeah.
that status. He's also probably a better actor at this stage in his career.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Arguable.
better just overall already than
I don't
Leo.
think we've seen the best of him yet. Call Me
Who,
by Your
Leo?
Name. What?
Yeah, I agree. Leo?
Call Me by Your Name obviously was great in, but like, I don't know. I haven't seen a role that really like was like, wow, that's like he's top tier. I think he has the potential.
Call Me By Your Name?
I said he was very good in that.
That's not top tier?
I mean, he wasn't. I don't think he was like
I thought he was fantastic in Little Women.
very good, but I haven't seen like an Oscar like he should win an Oscar for that yet.
Who won for Call Me By Your Name? It was Gary Oldman, right?
Beautiful Boy was amazing.
It was very good. It wasn't amazing.
Wow, some strays at Call Me By Your Name.
I said I love Call Me by Your Name. He was good in it. It was one of my favorite movies that year.
He's doing a drive-by and he missed by accident.
But he's still
kid.
young. That's not an insult. I'm just saying. I'm waiting. Like I need that like big like holy shit. And I think for a lot of people too.
Dude, you know what he would do good in?
I think Wonka could be that.
What's
I don't know if it would
the,
be better than Call Me By Your Name. Apparently you hate Call Me By Your Name, but I hope it's similar. I do disagree. I think Call Me By Your Name is one of those performances that, like, of course his career can go off the rails and maybe he just has bad luck with picking roles from here on out, but it just feels like his trajectory, it's one of those
it's super
special
high,
careers. But I think also that performance that, in terms of young actors, like, he's the guy. And especially, like, after Dune, where they could have given him more to do with that role, but what he does with it, it's
He's
like
good, yeah.
he's so good.
But,
It's not like the internet's hyping him because he's a pretty boy, And I think it's very, I feel similarly, like I feel like Tom Holland is the actor who hasn't gotten that, the Oscar role,
That's
you know?
true.
And I think he's capable of it, you know? And Chalamet's kind of going the other way with the blockbusters, you know?
They tried with that Devil movie with Robert Pattinson.
They tried. Yeah, no, they and this year too with Cherry.
Let's give you a southern accent.
Right. They love that. The Oscars love that. Well, speaking of actors, so Cillian Murphy is confirmed as Oppenheimer in Christopher Nolan's new movie, Oppenheimer. I know I said on a few podcasts ago that I wasn't that excited for this movie, but the idea has grown on me. And especially with Cillian Murphy involved.
What's Oppenheimer?
He's the dude that created the A-bomb. Remember we talked about this? Nolan's new movie?
Right, yeah.
So this idea has grown on me, just doing some more research into the time period. It is like a race against the clock, worrying about whether if the Nazis are going to develop this weapon, who else is developing this weapon, are we going to be able to get it done in time? So I think Nolan will have fun with this. And Cillian Murphy, he's like another guy that he's played supporting roles in Nolan's movies, but he's never had that lead role. So this is going to be cool to see them working together here.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely a when this story came out, like the type of movie he's doing, maybe a little bit of a change of pace from what a lot of people might think. If it is, it's just going to be a straightforward type biopic, but I think we all assume that it might have a bit of a Nolan twist to it. But like you said, like he's just a very good actor, very much supporting in a lot of things that he does. But I mean, he's able to carry, like look at Peaky Blinders, he's been carrying that for 4 or 5 seasons, so he's definitely a leading man. He has a look, and I don't know, he's playing the Big O, so we'll see how he tackles that.
I'd love to see Cillian Murphy play Oscar Robertson. We definitely need a biopic on him.
Kind of sucks that we know the ending.
Yeah, wins a championship with Kareem. Right. Yeah, spoilers, right? I guarantee some people out there won't know it. It's like when I always make this joke when Kobe took his teammates to see Lincoln, and they were all shocked that Lincoln died at the end.
No.
And Kobe was like, I think I need some new players.
Are you serious?
I'm interested to see like how the rest of the cast rounds out, and it's like, yeah, every time there's a Nolan movie, like that's just something to get excited about. He's one of the few directors that you can guarantee just killing it at the box office, has that name recognition, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and
Chalamet should be in a Nolan movie. I'd like that.
Yeah, maybe Chalamet will be in this. Maybe he'll get cast in he was in Interstellar, right?
He was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the son, right?
Small role though.
Right, he plays young Casey Affleck.
Probably told him not to do the hard drugs.
Probably, yeah. I hope he told him not to do other things.
Hey, I was close with an Affleck, right?
Yeah, and when in doubt, when it involves hard drugs, just guess an Affleck.
Is this a stupid question? I really don't want to say it because I don't know if it is or not. Could Einstein is Einstein part of with Oppenheimer? Like, is Einstein gonna get casted too?
I don't know if Einstein.
I don't know when he was alive or not.
I know that I
don't know why I think he was like in the 1700s.
I don't know if was actually a part of the Manhattan Project though.
A young Albert?
Say that again.
A young Albert?
That's Chalamet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, at this point, he wasn't young, so he would have been an older Einstein.
Okay.
I think he may have died in the 50s, so this would probably take place early 40s. Or late 30s when they were kind of developing the Manhattan Project. Right. I hope they use Einstein as like a mysterious figure that they go to for advice.
Right.
You know, when they're struggling, Einstein gives them a riddle. It's like, oh, of course, Al. Thanks. Hey, E.
He sprints down the hall with his paper.
Yeah, right. I've cracked it. All right, let's move on to the last story here. We have a new trailer for Scream 5, which is going to be titled Scream. And it's not a reboot. It's say that again?
They're Halloweening it.
They're Halloweening it. But no, it's just a sequel to the last one that came out in 2011. So they're not disregarding any of the bad movies. Scream 1, obviously a classic.
I respect that more than what Halloween did.
It was a good trailer, right? This trailer?
It's just more of the same.
I didn't watch it. I don't. It's obviously the first Scream, but they tried to do that show like a few years ago.
It wasn't bad. I watched it.
Of course you did.
It wasn't bad.
Well,
what is it?
It's a Scream show.
Just a mystery show?
No, it's Scream, but in a TV show in high school. Different. It's just like a new cast.
Scream.
Young Scream, yeah. Like 15-year-olds, but at least
Yelp.
It's funny seeing like the high schoolers back in the day, how they look like they're 30, and now these kids look like they're 12, but they're in high school.
Yeah, when I was watching the first one the other day, Matthew Lillard was 26 years old, playing a high school killer, and Dewey was actually David Arquette was 25, and he says in the movie, "I'm 25." And
was he really?
Right. Yeah. So it's like they got a 25-year-old for the cop and then 26-year-old for the high school kids.
Dewey looks like he's 40.
I know, right? It's funny. He's got like a baby face, but he looks old. And I guess that's how he finessed Courtney Cox on those movies.
Good for him, right?
Yeah. Young Courtney Cox, man, though. She looks good in this one too. Neve Campbell hasn't aged. I mean,
I don't get it.
She's immortal.
I don't get it.
I don't know what's going on there. Scientology?
I think I'm obsessed with having like just
fetuses.
Whoa, that's a
cut.
That's a 3 a.m. YouTube conspiracy. You clicked on the wrong link. Just having dinners with Hillary Clinton.
What was I?
Isn't that the rumor going around Hollywood?
What, the people eat fetus?
Yeah.
Feti?
Yeah. That's why they're so young.
It's Christopher
Stem
Reeves,
cells.
right?
He did stem cells.
Need to get me some of those. Like,
would you do it?
What?
Stem cells?
I don't care. Yeah.
I would.
That's for the fan to decide.
Yay! People, you call up to the show, you better be ready. That's what you're supposed to do. Sitting there arguing and you're trying to spell your name and all of this other stuff. It's not your show, it's my show. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak your mind. Don't call up here unless you got something to say.
All right, first question here from Calorenz. What will be the better movie, Dune or Eternals?
Well, I was seeing Dune and hoping for... As someone who's seen the major motion picture,
I think Dune's gonna do better. Or be better.
It's hard. It's tough because, like, I think Dune, for you, like, personally, I can see a world where you like Eternals better than Dune.
Yeah.
So for me, I think Dune is probably one of the top 5 movies I've seen this year so far. For Eternals to break that, it's going to have to be something special. Kevin Feige has teased that it is going to be like revolutionary for the MCU. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, we know fantastic director, fantastic cast. So like, it has all the ingredients there to really, really be something special. But
is Eternals like? If you follow the comics, do you know what the threat is in Eternals that's making them come out?
I mean,
or is it still up in the air for everyone?
They kind of go into it in the trailer.
Yeah, they talk about the Celestials, that they created the Eternals to fight against those monsters. So, like I said, they've kept a lot of things
Something
under
had to
wraps.
happen to get them out, though.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned the Thanos snap did something, and something bad's going to happen, and we have 7 days.
Yeah, all right.
So, but like I mentioned, they've kept a lot of the
You're
secrets
gonna die in 7 days.
hidden. So yeah, no, I imagine that there's definitely, if you would have told me this before I've seen Dune, I would have guessed I would have enjoyed Dune more. But now, having liked Dune, it feels like there's an avenue where Eternals is one of the better movies of the year, not just a good MCU movie.
So Dune was 3 stars out of 5?
My answer to this question would be Eternals. Say that again?
So Dune was 3 stars out of 5?
3.5.
All right.
I almost gave it 3, but I gave it...
Wait, Dune was really 3 out of 3.5?
Yeah. For me. But most people love it, dude. And you're going to love it. And I think it really benefits not knowing... Actually, no, you read the first half of the novel. We'll see. I think you're going to like it. You're definitely going to like it.
I like how that sounded.
This question here from Tristan Lee. Who should be the Yankees manager in 2022?
No, it's going to be Aaron
No one.
Boone
Just make
already.
it fucking Cashman. Just have Cashman be the manager.
Right? Yeah, or Hal.
I could be the manager of the Yankees.
Literally. I'm sick
All
of
I
it.
have to do is just take a fucking paper from those nerds in the back office and like, oh, that's my lineup.
I'm so sick of this analytic bullshit. Like, you can't tell as a coach or as a manager that Gallo was god awful, and you put him in the 4-hole because of analytics to help. The excuse was what, to give Stanton a cushion or to help Stanton out?
You know what really pisses me off? Is that the Red Sox keep winning. They come in last place, and then the next year they're contending.
The Red
they
Sox
don't
beat
care.
us.
They'll rework it. They rebuild. We don't. We just like being really good now.
They just won a chip and rebuilt, and they might go back to the chip again.
Yeah, they just fucking spanked the Rays in 3 games.
Yeah.
Right? They
Nationals,
swept the
Red
number
Sox,
1 seed.
ALCS
20
is
hits a
fucking
game,
torture.
at least.
This question here from Shannon Bailey, so probably Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
How much will No Way Home make opening weekend? Over or under 200 million? Under, if you're giving me that number. I'm going to guess 135.
I was literally going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm going to have to go 130 now.
Maybe it depends. Like, if they hit us with like a second trailer that's even more hinting towards what this movie is going to be, I think that can garner a lot of attention and a lot of hype.
But over
200 million's
though.
a lot. Like, we haven't seen it yet. We'll see what Eternals gets. If that gets over 100 opening weekend, then maybe. But just because it's Spider-Man, but that's a tough number to reach. Especially like since we haven't really seen that. Even during normal times, that's impressive. You know.
I think normal times this goes over 200 with how good Spider-Man has been. Tom Holland's the shit. It's the third movie, probably the ending. I think it hits over 200 in normal times.
They use that for the promotion. Teddy Nerd Soup says Tom Holland is the shit.
No, but he changed his character. He was. I think he's the best Spider-Man that we've gotten.
Don't tell Marissa that.
Why? Toby?
She hates Tom Holland.
She's got a love-hate relationship with MCU Spider-Man that many fans have that I totally disagree with the heart of their argument, but it is what it is. They don't like how he's Iron Man Jr. They want Spider-Man to suffer more. They basically want Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 Spider. That is
they want the Raw Queen Spider-Man.
They did capture that really well though with Spider-Man 2. Nothing
Lives in a shoebox.
Nothing goes right for that man in that movie. Nothing.
He lives in a shoebox. He really does.
Yeah, he does. And the guy's always harassing him for rent. That's why in the third movie when he takes his daughter, she's making him cookies. I'm like, hell yeah, Pete. I like Venom, Pete.
Yeah.
Dig on this.
That was such a terrible.
In hindsight, that has aged very well from a comedic standpoint. I thought you were going to make a point.
Me? What was my point?
Oh, I thought before
Yeah,
you were
You just said
starting a point,
something.
and then...
Was I?
yeah. I think you lost your train of thought.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you went to go talk, and then I said I liked Venom Pete, and then you were like, ugh.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know about that. I can make up
we
a
can
point.
play it back. So
Spider-Man, right? Shoot your web out. I tell you what, though. Nah,
You're really upset about John Gruden's firing, right? You think
that's so bad.
world's gotten soft?
Yeah, man.
Has it gotten soft? Yeah, but what he did, he had to get fired. Yeah.
I know, it eventually gets to a point where when the first email came out, everyone's like, we all make mistakes.
Dude, that was
And then
like,
it became mistakes.
50,000.
I think the funny, like, not funny because obviously
50,000.
The only good thing, there's nothing good about it, but at least he hit all the topics. He wasn't on one.
Yeah, someone
selective
called
group.
him an equal opportunity offender. I think Michael K. called him that.
Yeah, someone on Twitter was like, he left out the Jews, but I'm gonna give him a benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, there's no way he's taking shots at all those groups and he's also just...
Yeah, it was like, first of all, he's just a terrible coach, so like, I think he's overrated. So like, the emails came out, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely gonna get fired, and rightfully so. And then it was like all those other things came out, and it's just like, oof, buddy, like. Emails like how did you like why he's obviously just an old guy who didn't realize like, oh yeah, people like this saves. It's like people can
It was
see
10 years ago.
other people can see these things.
But they weren't even investigating. It's hilarious that they weren't even investigating him.
Yeah,
And he got nabbed.
I feel bad for Frank Caliendo. He lost like a big part of his act.
Big chunk.
Poor Frank Caliendo. Well, to be fair, I haven't seen much of him lately anyway, so maybe this is a good opportunity for him to get some new material, right?
Yeah.
This question here from Ant. What are your expectations for Dune Part 2? Having seen the first one,
Say it again. Keep saying it, both of you. Keep saying it. I think you said it 3 times before, then you said it again.
You'll be happy to hear this, though. Having seen the first one in IMAX, with a group of people that were seeing it in IMAX for the first time ever, it's going to be a better movie. There's no way where
Yeah.
part 2 comes out and it's not better. I think there were also some comments recently that he made that part 1, he had to establish the world, he had to establish the characters, and then part 2 is where you have some fun. So part 1, there's a lot of fun things going on. It could have been more fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But part 2, just where the movie leaves off and all the stuff they still have to get to, that can be an all-timer, like sci-fi, just epic. And a lot of people are calling part 1 an epic. So there's nowhere to go but up for me.
Definitely. And as someone who also has seen the film, I agree. Part 1 is very much a part 1, and I think it's setting up part 2 wonderfully. And I think part 1 worked for me like pretty well. So if it wraps up and part 2 really brings it home, I think it's going to be viewed as a whole. If that's the case and it wraps up great for me, then when you view it as maybe like a 4-hour, 5-hour kind of film broken up into 2 parts, I think it'll be much more cohesive and work much better that way.
I think part 2's it's definitely going to be close to 3 hours.
2 questions. How long was the first one? That's the first question.
2.5.
Does it drag at all?
Not for me.
For me, it does at times, but for a lot of, like I said, most people are really loving this movie. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
A lot of people are calling it the best movie of the year. There's even people who are a bit split on it. Like, they can't deny the visual aspects of it.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it reminds me of Deadpool 1. It's like, okay, the sequel's obviously going to be a little bit better.
Chalamet keeps breaking the fourth wall. I thought that was a little odd.
I'd like to see him in Deadpool 3. Maybe that's a superhero movie you do. You can knock off both the list. Hard Drugs and Deadpool 3. One last question here from MC Spoons. Is it just me, or would you rather watch a miniseries about Robert's Rebellion rather than House of the Dragon? No, because people keep saying this about House of the Dragon. We know how it ends, so where's the excitement? But how many book adaptations do we get of finished books or comics? There are plenty of adaptations out there where we know the ending from the book, if you have read the book or read the comic. So I don't think House of the Dragon has that problem.
Know the ending of Dune.
Right, you know the ending of Dune. And
Which
also,
I saw.
there are so many moving parts in House of the Dragon. There's so many people who are going to die in this story. There's so much carnage, and there's such a bloodbath that you eventually have to get to, where you can kind of lose yourself in all of the chaos. With Robert's Rebellion, you know where it's going to end up. You really do. And I think it would be exciting to do that as like a miniseries, a one-season thing. But if you're going to make the complaint, we know how it ends, Robert's Rebellion is like, it doesn't even have an ending. The true ending would be the show that we've already gotten, you know? So would I like to see it? Yes. Would I like to see it more than House of the Dragon? No.
Yeah, right on. I agree with you 100%. I think...
I'm so good.
Well, you went first. I probably would have said the same thing.
This guy would have been like, yeah, I want to see Robert's Rebellion. It's a much better story.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're right. Like, I think House of the Dragon is so far removed from the show that we watch, Game of Thrones, that, like, there is some intrigue. Even though we know how it ends, there's still so much mystery there. Robert's Rebellion, the way they tell it throughout the books and the series and all the things they give you, like, you know, obviously seeing, like, some of the battles take place and especially at the Trident and kind of the sack of King's Landing and Sir Barristan going to save the king, like, that shit would be awesome to see visually, but I already know so much information on that. It's like, if I have to pick, then I would go House of the Dragon. But obviously, yeah, I would love to see all that play out on live action, just for the castings too. I just want to see who they would cast. Young Robert, young Ned. I think Chalamet gets in there somehow.
Who would Chalamet play? The Mad King? Age him up? I always said I wanted Leo as the Mad King.
I think it would work well.
I think so. He would have to work on that accent. That act. Well, when Game of Thrones was at its height, that was one of the most fun things to do, is imagine what spin-offs they could possibly do, fan casting them. I know people always throw up that image of Henry Cavill in the medieval armor on a horse, young Robert. I think he would be great young Robert. Or even Chris Hemsworth, I think, could capture the spirit of a young Robert.
Can you guys see mainstream actors though in Game of Thrones? Is it just like different for Game of Thrones?
You could be Rhaegar.
Yeah, he'd be a good Rhaegar.
Not necessarily. I mean, like,
Can you see Chalamet being in Game of Thrones?
he's in Dune.
No, I think
Which I saw.
like Game of Thrones, like
I
even
think it's
House
just
of the
different.
Dragon, the people they cast, they're not huge stars.
Yeah.
The biggest one is probably Matt Smith. So Matt Smith is almost like the Sean Bean, where it's like he's the most famous. People
How
will
big was-
recognize him. He's not a superstar, but it works better when you get people that audiences aren't familiar with.
show
How big
cre-
was Dinklage and Heedy when they first went on Game of Thrones? Though they weren't huge names,
Dinklage
right?
was bigger. Dinklage was the guy from Elf. You
Right.
know, for a lot of people.
It's actually funny. The showrunner for House of the Dragon, he wrote Rampage and Hercules, both starring The Rock. So, can we get The Rock in House of the Dragon season 2?
The Rock voices Balerion, and he raps.
Did you listen to that? Oh my God.
Fire breathing dragon.
I commented on that and said Kevin Hart's gonna have a field day with this.
That was so bad, dude. We'll actually take 2 more questions here. This one from Lee Hancock. Is Squid Game actually good or overhyped?
It's good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think you're seeing people now getting off of the hype train because that's natural
Right.
when something's
Right.
so popular. But it hasn't been that loud of a... the minority
presence,
hasn't
yeah.
been that loud. So yeah, I think it's good. This question here from DPA, final question. How cool is Roy Kent?
The fucking coolest.
He is one of the coolest. That finale, I enjoyed it. I think, like I said, we're going to get into our thoughts for season 2, but overall, I very much enjoyed season 2. I think it was a bit better than season 1, and Roy Kent's my favorite character on the show. I think he's a standout amongst a cast with so many standouts, so that's what's so impressive of what they've done with that character.
For the people listening who don't know what Roy Kent is, can you explain to them?
Do you know what Ted Lasso is?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, it's Ted Lasso.
Yeah, no, he's a supporting character.
Ted Lasso.
So
All right.
you know the premise, right? That he's coaching a soccer team.
Yeah.
Roy Kent is an aging superstar on the team. He used to be a bigger star in his younger days, but now he's kind of like the grumpy curmudgeon veteran, and he's always growling. He's always pissed off.
Mr. 3000, Bernie Mac.
No.
No. I'm trying to compare him to like a player.
It's like Wayne Rooney on like an American team,
Oh, okay.
but he's still in the Premier League.
Ibrahimovic.
No.
He's still a star, right? Yeah.
There is an Ibrahimovic type of player who's the younger, cocky star. Not just like Ibrahimovic. Not,
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic is like 6'10". All right, guys, that is the Nerd 2 podcast for today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe to our channel, do all that stuff. For Aaron, Teddy, I'm Bo, signing off. Any last thoughts, guys?
Haslam. On the
Kinda. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Imagine if Haslam was a star, though.
Mello.
No. Mello is not Roy Kent.
I don't know. Not in personality, but he was good, and now he's like, okay.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like Mello.
On the
He's
Knicks.
here. He's there. He's every fucking where. Roy Kent.
You should watch it.
Is
It's
that
a
his
good show.
catchphrase? What's it
That's
on?
The
Apple.
crowd cheers.
I don't have
show.
Apple.
So buy it.
Maybe I can stream it on my Fire Cube.
Damn. We were making some good points in that video. Hey guys, Aaron the Nerd Suit Monkey here. Before we end this video, I want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. What can I say about you guys that I haven't already said about myself? You are the most important part of the channel and the main reason we keep going strong. Like Bo says, you keep the lights on in the fridge so the fridge is full. Or something like that. So, from everyone here at Nerd Soup, I'd like to thank you guys for your continued support. If you're interested in joining the ranks of our patron supporters, head over to patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out the rewards we offer to our patrons. We recently dropped some new stickers for you guys to check out, or you could choose a tier that will allow you to select a movie, show, or video game for us to review. We've got a full slate of fan-suggested reviews coming your way, and we're really excited about the chance to review some of those movies and shows. We've also got t-shirts, mugs, behind-the-scenes videos showing how we bring our videos to life. And once again, thank you to all our Patreon pledgers who have been supporting us throughout the years. Without you, we wouldn't be able to convert all your pledges into cryptocurrency, so thank you from my future self for making us rich.